Norm and Claudia have always seemed like complicated characters, the kind who hide more than they show. At first glance, Norm appears confident, even a little charming, while Claudia often stays in the shadows, watching, calculating. But the truth is, both of them have layers that no one really notices until you look closer. Norm's actions, while sometimes reckless, are often carefully planned. He watches people, learns their weaknesses, and strikes at the perfect moment. Claudia, on the other hand, seems quiet and polite, but she has a way of influencing others without them even realizing it. Together, they create a dynamic that is subtle, yet extremely dangerous. What makes them more threatening in Season 3 is that they have been quietly collecting knowledge, alliances, and secrets that could tip any situation in their favor. Each move they made in the past was setting up for something bigger. And now that the pieces are almost in place, the real danger begins. Even in moments where they seem vulnerable or distracted, they are always observing, always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. This is what makes them more dangerous than anyone else in the story. You might think you know what they are capable of, but the truth is far beyond what most fans have imagined. Norm's unpredictability paired with Claudia's manipulation creates a combination that is not just clever, it's potentially unstoppable. Season 2 gave hints of their capability, moments that seemed small but were actually signs of their growing influence. Norm's sudden actions in critical moments, Claudia's subtle manipulations, and their secret alliances all point toward a future where their danger isn't just personal. It could affect everyone around them. By the time Season 3 unfolds, these seeds will have grown into a network of control and power that can change the course of every story thread. Even supporting characters may not realize how much they are under Norm and Claudia's influence until it's too late. And the scariest part is that they don't need to fight openly to be dangerous. Their intelligence and patience allow them to use others as tools, turning ordinary situations into traps that seem harmless at first, but have devastating consequences. Fans often focus on dramatic confrontations, but the subtle, quiet power these two have is what makes them truly terrifying. Every small detail, every overlooked choice from Season 2 now becomes a potential advantage in Season 3. The theory goes that the moment a critical event happens, something that appears minor or coincidental, it could unlock the full potential of Norm and Claudia's strategy. This isn't about sudden outbursts of violence or obvious schemes. It's about timing, manipulation, and a deep understanding of human nature. That's why some fans believe that Season 3 will reveal them in a way that completely changes the balance of power in the story. What once seemed like minor actions or subtle manipulations are now part of a much larger plan. And the more you look, the more evidence you can find that Norm and Claudia have been quietly building towards something that could change everything. Even viewers who think they understand these characters might be shocked when the full consequences of their planning are revealed. Their ability to stay hidden while pulling strings from the background makes them not just dangerous, but almost untouchable. And in Season 3, the theory suggests we might finally see the full impact of their combined power, a threat that is strategic, patient, and nearly impossible to stop. Every interaction they've had, every secret they've kept, every choice they made could now be part of a master plan that puts them at the center of chaos and control. This isn't just speculation, it's a logical conclusion when you follow the clues they left behind. The small hints, the overlooked behaviors, and the mysterious connections all point toward one thing. Norm and Claudia are not just surviving, they are preparing to dominate. And when that moment comes in Season 3, it could change everything for everyone in the Fallout universe. Fans will have to rethink everything they thought they knew about these characters, because their danger isn't just immediate, it's calculated. It's far-reaching, and it could be unstoppable. Season 2 left fans with many unanswered questions, but the clues about Norm and Claudia were always there if you knew where to look. Norm's unpredictable behavior was never random, and Claudia's quiet influence was never harmless. every time Norm made a sudden move or acted in a way that seemed reckless, there was usually a reason behind it, even if no one realized it at the time. He has a way of testing people, pushing boundaries, and observing how others respond under pressure. Those moments were never just for drama, they were small experiments, collecting information, testing limits, and figuring out who could be trusted, and more importantly, who could be used. Claudia, meanwhile, worked behind the scenes, planting ideas in people's minds, encouraging decisions that would benefit her in ways others would never suspect. She doesn't need to fight directly because she can guide people to act as her instruments, subtly shaping events without anyone noticing her fingerprints. In combination, their strategies are frightening. Norm creates opportunities by destabilizing situations, while Claudia manipulates the outcomes, turning even minor conflicts into advantages for them. The theory that fans have been discussing is that Season 3 will finally reveal how these small actions from Season 2 were laying the groundwork for something much bigger. Every seemingly minor betrayal, every overlooked detail, and every quiet observation is now part of a larger, calculated plan. The moments where they seemed to be working independently were actually synchronized. Norm's chaos and Claudia's manipulation complement each other in ways that make them exponentially more dangerous together. This is what makes them so hard to predict. While other characters react emotionally or impulsively, Norm and Claudia think in terms of timing, probability, and outcomes. They are patient, willing to wait for the perfect moment, and capable of turning patience into power. Season 3 is expected to test the limits of their abilities, showing that their influence can extend far beyond what we saw in earlier seasons. Even characters who think they have control over situations may unknowingly play into Norm and Claudia's hands, simply because these two have already anticipated their moves. Another aspect of this theory is how they manipulate perceptions. Norm can appear as a threat, a friend, or even a distraction, depending on what is needed, while Claudia creates the perception that she is harmless or neutral, even as she quietly guides people toward decisions that will benefit them. Their ability to remain underestimated is one of their greatest weapons. Fans often focus on big confrontations or obvious schemes, but the real danger comes from the small, invisible threads they weave. Every alliance they formed, every secret they kept, and every subtle interaction with other characters is like placing pieces on a chessboard. By the time their plan is fully revealed, they will have multiple advantages stacked in their favor, making it almost impossible for anyone to stop them without consequences. What makes this theory even more compelling is that neither of them seems driven purely by emotion. Norm is clever, but calculated. Claudia is strategic, but patient. Together, they operate on a level that goes beyond normal rivalry or conflict. They are playing a long game, and Season 3 is likely where that game reaches its tipping point. Some fans have pointed to specific moments from Season 2 Norm's reaction to unexpected threats, Claudia's careful encouragement of certain alliances, and the way they both avoid direct confrontation until the timing is perfect as evidence that they have been planning this escalation all along. Everything we saw before was just preparation. What's coming in Season 3, according to this theory, isn't random chaos, it's deliberate. And it could change the story completely. The consequences could affect every main character, every subplot, and every assumed balance of power in ways that will surprise even the most dedicated fans. And the most dangerous part is that Norm and Claudia don't need to rely on brute force or obvious tactics. Their intelligence, patience, and ability to manipulate situations from the shadows make them nearly untouchable. While other characters react emotionally, they act strategically, turning every situation to their advantage. Season 3 could be the moment where all these small, hidden threads connect, revealing just how powerful and dangerous Norm and Claudia really are. Every past decision, every hidden alliance, and every secret they kept could suddenly have consequences that shake the entire Fallout universe. What seemed subtle before may now become a storm, and those who ignored or underestimated them in the past may finally see the true extent of their threat. Looking closely at Season 2, there are subtle patterns and moments that, on the surface, might have seemed minor, but when pieced together, they reveal just how dangerous Norm and Claudia could become. Norm often acted unpredictably, but his choices were never random. He tested people's reactions, sometimes by creating small conflicts or challenging situations.